Hi, I'm Beck and I went to China through the China teaching experience in 2016. I actually joined halfway through the year because I was teaching in Russia, just one-to-one through a language school. Yeah, so I just did a few months there and then I wanted to have a change. I wanted to work in a school. I heard about the China teaching experience through a friend who worked in Beijing, and a friend of hers had come through the China teaching experience. So I got in touch with Andrew, who was extremely helpful from start to finish. He promised to get me out of Russia and get me into China in the next few months, which was amazing. He found me a fantastic job in a middle school in Foshan, which is southeast China, I believe. So the weather is very warm, it's very tropical. There's a very good group of people out there already, so we got speaking to them and they could tell us everything we needed to know before we arrived, which was great. Very good in terms of to know what to pack. Yeah, so we were there for a year's contract. Middle school students, so they are aged 11 to 15. So I signed a year contract with the middle school in China. But I liked it so much that I ended up staying for another 6 months at the same school. We had an English boss over there who was really kind and helpful, and he really listened to us and the input that we had with the school. In terms of teaching, I taught English, creative writing and drama. Sometimes this would just be straight up English, but I think in our school, the Director of Studies wanted us to use, the skills that we could bring, so that's why we taught other things. That was in the international department, whereas in the main school, there was a little bit more freedom. They were just straight up English classes, so I would turn up with a topic and, a lesson plan and just try and get the kids speaking as much English as possible in that 40 minutes. So no writing in those classes. Just speaking, basically. So as you can imagine, I was a little apprehensive. My past teaching experience had been 3 months in Russia, which was pretty much just one-to-one. I hadn't ever been in front of a whole class before, especially 60 students, so I was a little bit nervous, but I felt that I had good support. Once you get into it, it really does become like riding a bike. So I had a TEFL qualification, which I did before I moved to Russia. So I didn't study the TEFL through China teaching experience. I already had one, so I didn't go to Beijing. Obviously I missed the first half of the year anyway, so I just went straight to China in February. I actually found the teaching enjoyable and sometimes pretty easy. I think, for some people it can just come quite naturally and you can just have fun. It's a great job. In terms of class size, in China, I did one-to-one classes with the lower level students. The international classes were sized between about 6 students and 28 students. And in the main school, there was sometimes 50 to 60 students. So there's a big range of class sizes. I don't really have a preference. I suppose somewhere in the middle is quite nice because you can do more probably. With the main school classes, the 60 student classes, we only saw them once every 2 weeks. So as I say, these lessons were a lot more sort of chilled and free, and you didn't do projects or homework or anything like that. It was just you turn up, get everyone talking about something and then you go. Whereas in the international department, the teaching was a lot more project based. I worked Monday to Friday, up to 20 teaching hours a week. Occasionally this went over by a few lessons. Usually it was under. Usually it was about 15 classes a week. So it was, the range. We were asked to work in the office when we were planning our lessons, which we sometimes did, or sometimes we said, oh, can we do this from home? And that was fine too. If you're wondering, oh no, I don't know much about teaching, will a TEFL qualification be enough to set me up for teaching in China? Then I would say yes, absolutely, it is. And you very much learn on the job, and you learn more and you get better and you find lots of different ways to engage the students, and it just becomes more fun. I really can't recommend China teaching experience enough. It's just a lot of fun. You're going to meet some really good people.